I thought they hit him. I thought the pitcher hit him on purpose.
We did not hit Braun on purpose. We threw 2 balls in there real good just to send a message. If he ducks them, it's all over and we don't hit him. The ball that they tried to throw on Pujols was aimed right where they aimed it. Did they try to hit him? No. But there's a small window here. They did it yesterday, and the ball trickled off his bat. You know how close that is to your face and your hand? You got hit right here. So I don't want to hear about our tactics versus what they did. You know, they did not make an intentional hit, but they tried to throw the ball up and in, and it's a very dangerous pitch, and we almost paid a hell of a price. So I don't want to hear about it.
It all started when Albert Pujols got hit. And then a division battle increased its intensity on Tuesday as Braun had one message on one pitch. The next pitch hit square in the back. Was it retaliation? Things increasing between division rivals. Yadier Molina later loses it after getting called out on strike 3. He's ejected, bumps the home plate umpire, tempers flare all night. And that's where we sit, headed into our game today. As we welcome you to Miller Park, the stage is set for the rubber match in this series between St. Louis and Milwaukee. It is tied at a game apiece. Another sellout crowd expected to pack the stadium. And we have another outstanding pitching matchup to look at as well. Newly acquired Edwin Jackson against Randy Wolf, each a winner in their previous start. They are ready to battle here in Game 3. Hi, everybody. The broadcast continues here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Davey Nelson and Craig Kashan on board with you. And, Davey, the Brewers cruised through a 7-game winning streak on this homestand. And all of a sudden, things changed yesterday. The intensity changed. You sensed the rivalry was picking up with St. Louis as the top 2 teams battle. What did you see change in the scope of things on Tuesday night?
It just the way they played the ball game. You know, it was not a very good ball game. And which is going to be today is going to be key to see how this rivalry, how this intensity from last night, how each team will come out and play.
This is why it's fun, folks. There's still one more game to go, and we've got it this afternoon for you here from Miller Park. And the Brewers got to have heart in so many ways, but it all starts at the top of the order with Corey. VA and Rock discuss when we get you closer to first pitch.
Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hop Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park. Concourses jam-packed, a sellout crowd today at Miller Park. A gorgeous afternoon for baseball. It's the Brewers and the Cardinals. Randy Wolf on the mound for Milwaukee, and he is trying to protect that division lead. The Brewers start the day 2.5 up on St. Louis. In the National League Central, the Cardinals will counter with their newest acquisition. Edwin Jackson makes his second start for St. Louis. Traded from the Blue Jays. He's been pitching for the White Sox all year at our first look at him in 2011. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Well, consider the Milwaukee Brewers completely engaged now in this pennant race, Rock, because Tony La Russa and the Cardinals, he's riled up the fans, the players, even the broadcasters at this point. But this is going to be a lot of fun the rest of the season.
Yeah, bring it on. You know, it's lonely at the top, and the Brewers are not really used to this type of, situation, but the Cardinals certainly are. They have been at the top and near the top of the division just about every year, but this is what everybody comes to play for. You get ready for spring training, pennant race baseball in Milwaukee, and this is just a small sample of what's yet to come between the Cardinals and the Brewers. These two teams have never liked each other too much.
Yeah, 10 more meetings with the Cardinals the rest of the year, including next week. Now, the Brewers are doing all this and engaged in this pennant race without their all-star second baseman and leadoff hitter Ricky Weeks. Now, Ron Renicki's been able to cover the leadoff spot lately with Corey Hart, who's done a fantastic job hitting at the top of the order.
Yeah, it took him a while to get accustomed to that leadoff spot, but the last 5 games for Corey's been raking 12 for 23. He's raised his overall batting average 21 points and doing a nice job getting on base, scoring runs, driving in some runs. He's been red hot at the plate. The Brewers still looking for that 5-hole hitter. That's the spot that Ricky was in before he got hurt. So the Brewers looking good offensively, able to score some runs last night.
Big ball game this afternoon. Can the Brewers win the series and make it an 8-1 homestand? The Brewers and the Cardinals, rivals in the Central, coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. lineups, a handshake, maybe a touching of gloves today. As we're set for the final game of this series, Ron Renicky, Tony La Russa, the Brewers and the Cardinals, as Randy Wolf is ready to go. And Rafael Furcal is swinging a miss to get us started this afternoon. Randy Wolf, one of the most consistent Brewer pitchers this year in that rotation, as Furcal into center field, a base hit. And St. Louis has a man aboard. Furcal an aggressive turnaround first. Let's give you the rest of the St. Louis Cardinals batting order today. Turned in by Tony La Russa. Brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Furcal, Terrio, and Pujols at the top. Matt Holliday, David Freese, and Lance Berkman. Yadier Molina, Corey Patterson, and Edwin Jackson round out La Russa's 9. And Randy Wolf, see his numbers this year, 7-8, an ERA of 3.44.
And his last 4 have been very good. He's only allowed to combine 7 runs in his last 4 starts. That includes no runs his last time out. Randy's been throwing the baseball well. Lack of run support is why his record is at 7-8.
And an interesting sidebar to today's game. Randy Wolf leads the National League in hit batters. He hits a ton of batters, primarily because he uses a cut fastball. As Terrio goes down the right field line, long run for Hart. He slides in foul territory, makes the catch. Corey Hart, an outstanding play for the first out.
Well, they had him shade Terrio down the line just a little bit. Got a good jump on it. Terrio off the end of the bat. Wasn't hit all that well, but look at Corey Hart. Makes a nice slide before he hits that padding. Our Home Depot doing more on defense.
We're just talking about Corey Hart in our open about his offense from the leadoff spot. He's made a couple of great catches here in this series. He knows that right field as well as anyone. So here is Pujols back in the starting lineup. There was some questions that Pujols might not be able to start after he was hit by a pitch yesterday. Brewers have made it a point to pitch Albert Pujols inside and up and in.
Well, that's where you have to hit all power or pitch all power hitters. You can't allow them to get their arms extended, and once in a while one's going to get away. Now the hit batter by Saito, the beginning of all that ruckus last night.
See the crew chief Gary Darling calling balls and strikes today. Close play on for call at first. See the numbers for Pujols against Randy Wolf in his career. A .323 hitter. Pujols seems like he has a 300+ batting average against just about everyone with a large enough sample size.
And he loves the ball out away from him, and that's why a lot of pitchers want to pound him inside. And Randy Wolf from time to time will let a cutter get away and hit a batter. Randy Wolf with 10 hit batters this year. That leads all the National League.
Check the Brewers defensively this afternoon. You've got Braun, Morgan, and Hart in the outfield. Infield of McGee, Betancourt, Lopez, and Fielder. George Gutierrez does the catching as he usually does with Randy Wolf on the mound. Plains Farm and Fleet defense. And the former Cardinal Felipe Lopez back in the starting lineup at second base. Well, you have to wonder how Pujols will be swinging the bat today. That pitch that hit him last night, it stung him good, and he did not have a particularly good at-bat in his next at-bat in the 11th inning where he struck out, or his next 2 at-bats as a matter of fact. So you wonder how the hand injury is affecting Pujols. And a swing and a miss. Randy Wolf strikes him out at number 2.
Yeah, nothing worse for a batter than a hand injury. That's the most important piece in swinging a bat. That's a good fastball right on the outside corner. That's always the key to Randy's success, his ability to throw that pitch on the corner. That really opens up the inside part of the plate for him.
So Pujols retired, 2 gone in the inning. And here is Matt Holliday, who has homered in the first 2 games of this series. Holliday hit one yesterday off the scoreboard in center field. It was over 440 feet. And had a key hit in the 11th, an infield hit. He stole a base in the 11th inning, which was big. And then he scored the eventual winning run.
A tough night last night for Marco Estrada, who in my mind threw the ball pretty well. The infield hit and then a ball off the end of the bat by Berkman cost him the game, but he threw well.
Well, Estrada took the loss. Kyle McClellan was the winner last night when the smoke cleared. Octavio Dotel notched the save. 8-7 Cardinals won last night in 11 innings in a game that lasted 4.5 hours. And it was a grinder. Hope you had a chance to join us last night. Even though the Brewers came up on the short end, it was a thrilling game. I wouldn't say the most beautifully played game. There were a lot of defensive breakdowns, but it had everything you could want last night.
And a lot of runners left on base. It seems as though both teams had chances to score just about all night. Just a glimpse of what is yet to come for the Brewers in August and September.
Yeah, a lot of baseball left. Game number 111 in the books last night. Runner goes for call. That one is lifted foul in the seats. Well, Holiday on Monday against Zach Greinke. This was a first inning home run down the right field line. Gave the Cardinals a 2-0 lead. Last night in his first at bat, a booming home run to center field. His 16th home run of the year. Put the Cardinals on the board first.
Well, both pitches out away from him. Ability to get his arms extended. That's what he wants.
Runner goes again. Ball 4 as Holiday draws the walk. Interesting that Tony La Russa at the last moment switched his lineup with 2 players. He swapped David Freese and Lance Berkman. So instead of Berkman hitting now, La Russa puts Freese in that spot. Now Berkman a switch hitter, but much better from the left side.
Well, maybe thinking Freese might get some better pitches to hit with Berkman behind him in the lineup. Berkman has struggled against Randy Wolf so far in his career. 3 for 27. Of course, Berkman has always been, as you mentioned, a much better left-handed hitter than right-handed hitter.
And there you see the numbers for Freese in a limited sample size. Has a couple of hits, but Wolf has struck him out 3 times. Freese appeared as a pinch hitter last night and struck out in the 6th inning. That was Sean Markham's last hitter. Freese did not start. He did start in the opener at third base, and he is back at third base this afternoon. He too coming back from a hand injury. The Brewers will enjoy an off day tomorrow. The Cardinals are headed to Miami. They start a series with the Florida Marlins, a 4-game series beginning tomorrow. 1-2 on the way, and that one is a little bit low, maybe a little out. Looked like a pretty good pitch. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, somewhat of a tight strike zone last night with Rob Drake behind home plate, and Gary Darling behind home plate today. Not quite as hot today as it has been here in Milwaukee. Good day for baseball.
Yeah, very comfortable here in the Midwest. Back up the middle, a base hit, and the Cardinals are going to take the early lead. As for call scores, David Freese gives St. Louis a 1-0 lead in the 1st inning.
Yeah, so the late lineup switch working for the Cardinals in the 1st inning. That pitch right down the middle. Yeah, the pitch before did not miss by much. Gary Darling not calling it a strike. And that fastball right down the middle of the plate, and David Freese bangs it right back into center field for an early run for St. Louis.
Two hits and a walk in this first. St. Louis on the board. Freese drives in number 30. And here is Lance Berkman now batting 6th in this lineup. 2 on, 2 out. Berkman as a right-handed hitter batting 276. He's at 290 as a lefty.
The batting average not much different, but the power numbers, of course, he doesn't have as many at bats right-handed, but he's always had better power, home run power, as a left-handed hitter.
Berkman with 28 home runs this year, only 4 of them as a right-handed batter. About a third of the at-bats from this side of the plate. He has been so good this year in spots like this. A .370 batting average. 9 of his 28 home runs with runners in scoring position. Two and two on Berkman. Cardinals with an early lead. David Freese plating Rafael Furcal. And back up the middle. Randy Wolf has it. And the side retired. So the Redbirds get one. The Brewers coming up for the first time against Edwin Jackson. A very good homestand. It's already a good homestand, but a chance to go 8-1 on this homestand with a victory here this afternoon. Renick's Piggly Wiggly batting order has Corey Hart at the top, Nyjer Morgan, then Ryan Braun. Middle of the order is Fielder, McGee, and Betancourt. Bottom 3, Lopez, Cotares, and Randy Wolf. And that's the lineup that will face Edwin Jackson, and the Brewers will face Jackson for the first time in a Cardinal uniform.
Yeah, he did pretty well with the White Sox. 19 starts with the Sox and a .392 earned run average. Allowed only 8 home runs. 1-0 with the Cardinals. He gave up only 1 run in 7 innings in his first start as a St. Louis Cardinal in a trading deadline deal for St. Louis.
Jackson, 27 years of age. He's from Columbus, Georgia. And he has been traded quite a bit in his career. 6 times, as a matter of fact, he's been traded in the last 6 seasons. Born in Germany, his dad was in the service, and raised in Georgia. Jackson has a no-hitter on his register as well. And a power pitcher by all means.
Basically a 2-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider. He will throw a circle changeup from time to time. You figure Prince Fielder to get that pitch. There's that slider. I guess Jackson's used to moving around quite a bit. Back-to-back years he's been with 2 different teams. Anytime you're in a military family, you're going to be moving around. His dad was in the Army for 23 years.
Yeah, so he's used to it. He packs light. It's been a valuable commodity, and he seems to be the guy that always comes up at the trade deadline. His hard rips one left field, and this is way gone. Corey Hart on cue ties it up.
Boy, how can you get any hotter than Corey Hart? Wow.
Well, Hart with his Powerball home run number 15 quickly ties it. We just talked about Hart in our broadcast open today, about how good he has been in that leadoff spot in the batting order. And Hart continues on a tear on this homestand.
In 5+ games, that's now 13 hits.
He's been able to raise his batting average over 20 points in the last 5+ games. 5 games and 1 at bat here today. His 5th career leadoff home run, the 3rd this season. Here's Nigel Morgan now. And a pop up, foul territory. Freese will run it down for the out. Out number 1.
Let's check it out. A fastball by Edwin Jackson right down the middle of the plate, and Corey able to get the bat head out on it. That's the one thing Dale Swaim said, that Corey's been doing a much better job. He's picking his spots to try and pull the baseball, not thinking so much going the opposite field all the time.
Powerball home run leaderboard. Hart now with 15 home runs for the season, and quickly ties it in the bottom of the 1st. Here is Ryan Braun with 1 away. Jackson pitched well in his first start as a Cardinal, and now diving right into this division rivalry. Braun with 21 homers, 73 driven in. He was frustrated last night. Braun had a couple of chances to drive in a run last night. Had a runner at third base in the 10th inning and grounded out to end the inning. I think that was the underlying theme of last night's commentary, aside from what Tony La Russa had to say last night. But for the Brewers, it was more about missed opportunities and not executing properly down the stretch.
Bases loaded, nobody out late in the ball game, not able to score. Rafael Furcal making a game-saving catch for the Cardinals on a pop-up into short left field last night. Well, he certainly made his presence known early on here with the Cardinals.
It's one of the best catches you'll see by a shortstop. On a misplay by Matt Holliday, he broke back on the ball. Furcal bailed him out. That would have ended the game. That was in the 9th inning last night. 2 balls and a strike on Ryan Braun. And that one's whipped off the glove of Freese. And Holliday coming in. Braun's going to second. Here's the throw, not in time. A hustle double for Ryan Braun.
It goes from a line drive out to a double for Brawny. Well, Matt Holliday playing deep out in left field. Not much of a throwing arm out there, and Brawny knowing it, thinking about a double as soon as he hits that baseball. A hanging slider from Edwin Jackson that stayed down the middle of the plate. Slowed it down enough to allow Braun to get into second. Talk about extension.
Braun churning all the way out of the box, and a double at second base for Fielder. That is Braun's 27th double of the year. That breaks him into the top 5 in the National League. It's currently tied for 5th with a number of other players. And now Fielder a chance to give the Brewers the lead in the 1st. Prince batting .296 to start play today, has 24 homers, 78 driven in. Prince is 4th in home runs in the league, behind Berkman's 28, and is 3rd in the National League in RBIs, has 78 ribbies. Matt Kemp is the league leader with 84.
The Cardinals and Brewers splashed all over the National League leaderboard in a lot of the slugging categories.
One ball, 2 strikes.
That was a pretty good fastball in on Prince.
Outfield is deep against Fielder. Braun on a base hit to the outfield will certainly score. And Fielder a liner right to Freese. Out number 2. Got that on his hands. Let's check St. Louis defensively today. Matt Holliday, Lance Berkman on the corner outfield spots with Corey Patterson in center. Freese, Furcal, Terrio, and Pujols. Terrio has moved over from the shortstop position to make room for call. Yadier Molina behind the plate. Terrio now going to be getting most of his playing time at second base now that Furcal is in the mix.
There's somewhat of a platoon with Skip Schumacher out there at second.
Here is Casey McGee with a runner at second. And a little tapper foul. Now McGee at 235 on the year, 5 homers, 43 driven in. Had 3 hits last night. Casey was 3 for 6 at the plate last night. The Brewers banged out 14 hits last night. A game that ended up not what we expected, with Sean Markham and Jaime Garcia matching up. McGee into right center. That ball's well hit. Back is Patterson at the wall. It's gone! Casey McGee, a 2-run homer. And the Brewers have a 3-1 lead.
Well, that's his power spot out in right center. Edwin Jackson got a fastball up out over the plate. Casey went right with it. And check it out. Boy, that's a nice swing by Casey McGee. You can see he'll let the ball travel right off of that front foot. And hit it hard into the gap out there, and just able to sneak over that right center field fence.
McGee's first home run since July 6th. It has been almost a month. Homered here at Miller Park against the Diamondbacks. Betancourt on the first pitch. And the hits keep coming in the first. That is hit number 4. 2 homers, a double, and now a single. And Yuniesky Betancourt extends his hitting streak to 7 games.
Yep, and Betancourt now will probably be over the 260 mark. He's done a nice job getting that batting average up since the All-Star break. Able to center on that pitch and bang it into left. Early visit for Dave Duncan.
Quick trip to the mound for the Cardinal pitching coach. That's got to feel good for Casey McGee.
He's hit some balls hard on this homestand, but right at outfielders. Nobody going to catch that last one, though.
Well, Ron Renicky putting McGee back in the 5-hole yesterday. Responded with 3 hits. He's in there today, and he delivers. Felipe Lopez now with 2 away. 3 runs in on 4 hits, and a good start for the Brewers offensively today. That catch by Furcal last night in the 9th inning came against Lopez. And he thought when it left the bat, noticing that Holiday break back first, he thought he had a chance to drop one in and end the game.
Yeah, Furcal might be the only shortstop in baseball to make that catch, at least in the National League.
Lopez, a former Cardinal, spent some time in St. Louis last year, and he was also a Redbird in 08. A couple of tours with the Cardinals. He struggled last year for St. Louis, hit .230. And the Cardinals actually traded him at the deadline to the Boston Red Sox. Lopez started the year with the Tampa Bay Rays. He was primarily playing third base for Joe Maddon's Rays. Evan Longoria was out with an injury to start the season. All-star third baseman of the Rays had an oblique injury, and Lopez scuffled a bit, hit in the low 200s, but sporadic playing time once Longoria came back. Rays sent him down to AAA. He went down to Durham and swung the bat very well, hit over 300 in the International League, and that's why the Brewers made the trade for him, see if they could get a spark after Ricky Weeks' injury. Bouncing ball, Terrio is over, and And he makes the play. Wasn't pretty, but he gets it done. And the inning is over. But a big one for the Milwaukee Brewers. They go deep twice. Corey Hart, no doubter, his 15th of the year. Casey McGee, his 6th. 3-1 Crew. Start for Milwaukee today. Final game of this 3-game series. 3-1 Brewers as we go to the second inning, and Yadier Molina will lead off for St. Louis. Molina most certainly is headed for a suspension after his antics last night. Called out on a fastball from Estrada, and Molina just snapped last night.
They lost it, and I mean the only result of that, when you do that, you bump an umpire a couple of times, you spit in his face. Not only are you going to get thrown out of the ball game, but you're going to spend some time on the suspension, and you're going to get a big fine. You just can't do that to umpires, and it looked like a pretty good pitch. A little bit too close to take. Man, big time snap by Molina. I guess that's what the heat does to you in long games.
You got to keep your composure better than that, and did not look pretty last night. And you can understand Tony La Russa. He has certainly, in my mind, he's deflected a lot of what went on last night with Boggs, who might face suspension, and Molina at the plate, just kind of bringing up ancillary issues as Molina goes down, and a strikeout for Randy Wolf. I beg your pardon, Jason Mott, not Boggs, as Wolf strikes out Molina.
That fastball up and away, and you would imagine Gary Darling back there. They can't do this, but after what he did last night, you figure that plate to be a little bit bigger for Molina today. At least that's the way it used to be in the old days. Not so much anymore. Not with the way they record every pitch. They're evaluated on their strike calls, and you can't be vindictive these days. It's kind of shame.
That was the fun part of it, right?
Yeah, that's some great stories about that.
Back when you played. You and La Russa are from the same era.
Yeah.
Same old school. As Patterson rips one to right, Corey Hart got a late break, and that's over his head. And Corey Patterson into second base with a double. I think Patterson surprised Hart.
I don't think Corey saw it. I mean, he took a long time to react either way to that line drive, and if he got on it right away, he might have been able to catch it. The ball was hit hard right at Hart, and Corey not even moving. It took him a while to make any kind of a movement back, and that's what leads you to believe he just didn't see it off the bat.
So that'll be a double with one away, and the pitcher Jackson coming up. But just to get back to Tony La Russa, and you know, I know fans are hearing what he said last night. It was very entertaining, no question, but you can't blame the man for deflecting away from some serious issues that he's going to have to deal with his personnel, with Molina and Mott. And, you know, he reminds me of Greg Popovich in the NBA, a guy I covered for a long time. If something happened like that, you're trying to create a story elsewhere. And there's been some discussion about sign stealing in this series. Tony La Russa has brought up the fact that maybe Miller Park is changing the lights. They actually filed a complaint changing the brightness of the lights when the Cardinals are batting as opposed to the Brewers. So there has been a lot of ancillary discussion brought up by the Cardinal manager. Jackson, a little tapper. McGee, and not in time to get Jackson, who runs well and beats it out, an infield hit.
Yeah, he got down that line in good shape. Pretty good athlete, Edwin Jackson. Corey Hart playing back behind the bag at third and just not able to get there on time. A little swinging bunt down the third baseline for Jackson on a curveball. Getting down that line like a position player.
Now Wolf in trouble here. Now 2 on, top of the order coming up. Runners at the corners. Well, you don't expect much from the bottom of this Cardinal order. It's really the top and the middle you're concerned with. But back-to-back hits.
You know, as successful as Tony La Russa's career has been, and no doubt a future Hall of Famer and one of the best managers of all time, he will drive you crazy with some of the things that they do and say, this Cardinal organization, but they have been very successful, and he's been a master of manipulating the media and everybody else around him, deflecting all the attention away from his players, and sometimes that's a good thing.
If you're in that clubhouse, that one's hit hard for Call, deep to left, and that one is up and out of here. Rafael Furcal with just his second home run of the season. Boy, and this one is a wild one already. A 3-run home run for the Cardinal leadoff hitter.
Yeah, you got Corey Patterson and Edwin Jackson getting on base. That's not going to help you too much. Patterson, the left-handed hitter. Jackson, the pitcher. First and third, 1 out, and a cutter right down the middle of the plate. A mistake pitch by Randy Wolf, and Rafael Furcal, of all people, able to knock that one out of the ballpark. Buckle your chin straps today. It's going to be a wild ride.
4-3, St. Louis has the lead. Ryan Theriot now ahead in the count, 2-0. And a changeup for a strike. The other notion about pitching inside, Randy Wolf must pitch inside to be successful. And we talked about all the hit batters he has this year. He has such a great changeup and off-speed stuff. And if he's not working inside with success, if he's not backing off hitters, he's going to have a rough day.
Yeah, especially a lot of these Cardinal power hitters. They like to get their arms extended. Pujols, Holiday in particular. Those two guys diving on the outer part of the plate. If you don't keep them honest inside, you're in trouble.
Bouncing ball to Betancourt. And there is out number 2.
Hey fans, Nyjer Morgan currently is in the lead to be the next We Energy's High Energy Player of the Year with 43% of the votes. Cast your vote today at brewers.com/WeEnergies. If I'm not mistaken, the last time we did this, Ryan Braun had 75% of the votes. What happened? I declared that a landslide, and it was over. My mistake.
Exit polls did you wrong. Tony Plush has, I think he's engaged the Plush Nation at this point. Here is Pujols with 2 away. Pujols struck out in the first inning. And that one is hit well. And Albert Pujols will watch this one fly. Back is Morgan with room. He's got it. I think Pujols thought he hit one out, but Morgan makes the play in front of the wall to end the inning. planet. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And a wild one here at Miller Park already. 7 runs on the board on 9 hits. We got an inning and a half under our belts today. Rafael Furcal with a 3-run home run, and how about the impact he is making quickly for the St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah,
not just with his bat, but with his glove.
Yeah, on both sides. You're right. Nice pickup. Took a little bit of a risk, based on Furcal's health over the last few years.
Edwin Jackson back on the mound. George Gutierrez will lead off. Cardinals got a run in the first. The Brewers with 3 in the bottom of the first. Hart a solo homer. McGee a 2-run home run. And then that 3-run home run by Furcal in the second. Gutierrez gets in there every 5th day with Randy Wolf. Ron Renicky was very hesitant to assign a personal catcher to Wolf. At the beginning of the year, it was Nieves. And then Gutierrez was called up. Wolf has had such a good year on the mound that Gutierrez has been able to stick. Now he strikes out on 3 pitches. First out of the second. Well, as part of our Fox Sports Supports charitable initiative, we are proud to wear these pins during our 2011 MLB on Fox Sports Wisconsin season to support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. For more information, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. 1 out for Randy Wolf. Good hitting pitcher. Wolf has 7 hits this season. He's 7 for 38. That's a batting average of 184 coming in. That Cardinal win last night snapped a 7-game winning streak for the Brewers overall. It snapped an 8-game home winning streak. Milwaukee still the best winning percentage at home at 40 wins, 15 losses this season. And actually the Brewers have matched their total for home wins from last year. They were 40 and 41 last season. They've already matched that with 2 months to play, 40 and 15.
And that home record was what prompted some of the concerns that Tony La Russa voiced after the first game of the series here.
A sign stealing concern for the Cardinals as Wolf strikes out. Edwin Jackson back-to-back Ks to start this second inning.
Fastball to get George, and then a slider to get Randy Wolf. Basically 2 pitches for Edwin Jackson. He'll 4-seam, he'll 2-seam the fastball, the slider, and he'll throw an occasional changeup. There's a slider to get Wolf.
Jackson technically traded to the Cardinals from the Blue Jays, although he was only a Blue Jay on paper. For about 2 hours he was a Blue Jay. Traded from the White Sox to the Blue Jays. And then the Blue Jays turned him around, put him in a package deal for Colby Rasmus. Blue Jays sending 4 players to St. Louis. Corey Patterson was one of those players. Edwin Jackson, Mark Zepchinski, and Octavio Dotel, who picked up the save last night.
Technically not a 3-team trade. Technically, but that's the way it worked out. That was all by design. That was all worked out in advance, I would imagine. It would have had to for him to only be there two hours, right?
Seemed like they had some pieces in place, huh?
Yeah.
Well, the Cardinals did a lot of work. They did not land the closer they were looking for, but they did bolster their bullpen. And the fact that Jackson goes into the starting rotation, La Russa moved Kyle McClellan out of the rotation into the bullpen, which gives them a position of strength on another level with McClellan. McClellan was last night's winner.
And with his array of off-speed pitches, the Cardinals like to consider him to be their second lefty in the bullpen. He's effective against left-handers. They do have the one, Mark Zepchinski. They don't mind using McClellan in that role.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Cardinals use their bullpen tonight. If it gets to that point. As Hart strikes out, Jackson strikes out the side after giving up 3 runs in the first. 4-3 Cardinals. We go to the third. Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat. Beautiful day here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And the final game of this homestand. A 9-game homestand, very important homestand. The Brewers have taken full advantage. Going 7-1 at this point. 4-3 Cardinals. They have a 1-run lead as we go to the third inning. Matt Holliday leads off for St. Louis. Holliday walked in the first. It's been a tough out in this series. On base 3 times last night and scored 3 of the Cardinals' 8 runs last night. On base 3 times in the opener on Monday as well.
They really have to try and get in on his hands on the inside part of the plate. You got to be careful. Leave it out over the plate like Greinke did and Markham yesterday. They end up being hit out of the ballpark.
Three balls and a strike on Holliday. And Randy Wolf a little frustrated at Gary Darling's strike zone behind home plate.
They enter to win the Time Warner Cable Diamond Life Sweepstakes. One winner will take batting practice at Miller Park and score a big leaguer salary for the day. Visit Brewers.com for details.
So a man on. Wolf has issued 2 walks, both coming to Holliday. He's given up 5 hits already. And here's David Freese. Freese hitting .321 after his base hit RBI in the first inning. Put the Cardinals on the board first. Well, Rock, I think you look at the Brewers' schedule right after the All-Star break, and that was kind of the make or break run for Milwaukee. The 20 days, the 20 games after the All-Star break, to either stay in a pennant race, be a part of it, or fall back and have to play catch up. And the Brewers played the first 11 on the road. They've not had a lot of success on the road, but they held serve. They went 5-6 on the road trip out west. And have taken care of business at home as Freese Lines one to center, and more trouble for Randy Wolf in the third inning.
Yep, having a tough time getting ahead in the count and keeping his pitches down in the strike zone. But to your point, I don't think the Brewers could have asked to be in a better position going into August and September than being in first place. 2.5 games up. What more can you ask? You're right in the middle of a pennant race, and a lot of excitement, a lot of intensity, a lot of games left with the Cardinals. How could things be going any better, in all honesty?
Now, when the Brewers began this homestand, they were a half game back. They trailed the Pirates and the Cardinals. And they will exit this homestand no worse than a game and a half ahead of St. Louis. That's if they lose today. A win today puts them back at 3.5 up. So a chance to pick up 4 games in a 9-game stretch, which is not easy to do. Bergman pops it up. Casey McGee makes the catch. Out number 1. Big out for Randy Wolf.
It's been a while since the Brewers organization have been the hunted at the top of the division in August. These are the Brewers are trying to catch somebody and kind of new to the whole organization. Let's see how they handle it.
Here is Yadier Molina. Slow breaking ball in there for a strike. Now Wolf would love to get a ground ball double play here against Molina. He and Pujols, the top 2 in the National League, rounding into double plays this season. Pujols leads the league. Molina second.
Yeah, Albert's rolled into what, 23 double plays this year? My goodness. Yeah, hit the ball hard. Sometimes it's on the ground right at somebody and able to turn 2 on you. Molina does not run all that well.
Molina's bounced into 16 double plays, but he's a good hitter. He's got a .293 average to start play today. Another slow curve. Randy Wolf to a curveball in his last start in the 50s. I think it was 57 or 58 miles per hour.
Gravity ball.
That's not easy to do.
Yeah, it's hard to reach home plate at that velocity, right? Or lack thereof.
Got to employ some physics.
You got to put some air under it.
Another slow curveball. Molina doesn't bite. It's 2-2. So Wolf has been as fast as 90 today. He has been as slow with that curveball of 64. He does not look sharp early. Hoping to get it dialed up. 2 on, 1 out. And Molina bouncing ball. Chance for 2. Betancourt to Lopez. In time. Double play right on cue. 6-4-3. Randy Wolf is out of the third at his first scoreless inning of the day. Brewer half of the third inning. And a reminder to come out to Miller Park for Music Night on Friday, August 12th, as your Brewers take on the Pirates. The first 35,000 fans 18 and older will receive a card redeemable for 5 free song downloads. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com. Now the Brewers are headed on a road trip. They go to Houston beginning a series Friday. And then an off day Monday, a 3-game series in St. Louis. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Right back here at Miller Park next Friday. Nigel Morgan with a scowl on, ready to lead off for the Brew Crew. Edwin Jackson came back, struck out the side in the second inning after the Cardinals had regained the lead in the top of the second. Morgan, Braun, and Fielder due up here in the third inning. Morgan squares, pulls it back, and takes a strike. Niger having a great season in 2011. What a pickup he has been, hitting .324 for the Brewers.
Come up with a number of big hits for the Brewers late in ball games.
And he slaps that one to the opposite field, a base hit. That's what he does.
And does that extremely well, going to the opposite field, getting on top of high fastballs and banging them into left. Such an asset being able to do that, particularly when you have the reputation of dropping down a bunt once in a while so the third baseman is in on the grass. You can see where David Freese is over there, limiting his range. And had Morgan hit that ball about 6 feet over toward third, it still would have been a base hit. You don't have any range when you're that shallow at third base.
So speed at first for Ryan Braun, who doubled and scored in the first inning. Braun had a hustle double. He ripped one off the glove of Freese. Freese made a leaping attempt at a line drive from Braun. Ryan drove in a run yesterday. He was 1 for 5 at the plate. Hit by a pitch, of course. Like Pujols got a little tied up with an Edwin Jackson fastball over there at first base.
Yeah, these guys, these pitchers for the Cardinals, I mean, when they throw to Albert, I mean, they're not afraid to let it fly. That was at Salas last night late in the ball game.
That's right. Yeah.
Just throwing some rockets over to Pujols at first.
Keeping Morgan close. Salas went 2 innings, the Cardinal closer. So now you're wondering, we were talking about this last inning, but you wonder if Jackson is chased from this game, how LaRussa will work his bullpen. He got an inning and a third out of McClellan last night. Salas went 2 scoreless innings. He was huge for the Cardinals in their win last night. St. Louis used 7 pitchers, 6 relievers in last night's game.
You don't mind doing that when you pick up a win. It's when you use all of your guys in your bullpen and you lose the game, that's when it stings you.
Now Braun figures to be a good matchup against Edwin Jackson. It's good with a fastball. Likes going to the opposite field as well. Jackson lives on a fastball and a slider for the most part, as Rock mentioned. Braun has only 2 at-bats. Now 3 at-bats lifetime against Jackson. And a bouncing ball up the middle for Call. Tough hop. Steps on the bag in time for the out. A double play. 6-3 double play for Call, hung with a tough hop.
Yeah, very agile around the bag at second base, and he's got a gun for a throwing arm, and we saw that a couple of nights ago on a play up the middle. Able to hit the bag and throw a rocket over to Pujols. Get in front of it, handling that funny hop as it got to him.
And no trouble retiring Braun on the back end. So 2 gone. Here's Fielder. Now there's no question about for Call's impact when he's healthy. The question is, can he stay healthy? Should be fresh. He hasn't played much, just 40 games this year. A thumb injury, had an oblique injury as well. With 2 stints on the disabled list as a member of the Dodgers. Fielder rips one back up the middle, a base hit. So Prince extends the inning for Casey McGee.
And Jackson got an off-speed pitch up in the zone, and Prince able to wait back and hit it hard into center field. Keeping those hands back on the off-speed pitch, that's the key to being able to get something behind that swing. Still have the power.
Fielder and Pujols maybe sharing stories about all the white T-shirts splashed in the sun behind that pitcher, at least from their angle.
You think that's really what they're talking about?
Or they're talking about their bank account, maybe free agency.
Maybe talking about, you guys are going to hit me, are you? Not today.
That's what the first baseman sees on a throw to first.
It's great to be in a pennant race, right? The intensity and games that matter in August and September. Nothing like it. Very easy to get motivated coming to the ballpark when you're in first place, right? And you're playing the team that's right next to you in the standings. A lot of emotion, a lot of sparring going on. Good stuff.
McGee to left. This is way back, and there it goes. Casey McGee having a day. A 2-run home run. The Brewers back on top. His second home run of the day. Now 4 runs batted in. Maybe he's back.
Well, 3 hits in yesterday's ball game and back-to-back homers for McGee. That was a hanging slider that time. Look at that, where that ended up, about belt high. Between the belt and the letters, and Casey able to tomahawk it on out of here. A no-doubter that time to left. Goodness. And halfway up the second deck.
We don't see Casey McGee go deep in left field very often, but he got a hanger and took care of business. His second 2-run homer of the day, and as many at bats as Betancourt. Down the line, foul. Milwaukee back in the lead, 5-4. Starting to think 5 runs might not win this game.
2 teams swinging the bats well right now. The Cardinals have been swinging the bat well all year. They lead the league in batting average and runs scored. Brewers continue to climb that batting average category.
Now the Brewers coming into play today as a team, hitting .259.
Tied for 5th.
It's one of the themes for Doug Melvin this offseason, talking about the Brewers offense, saying this needs to be a top 5 offense to be successful, and right now they are a top 5 offense. Batting average, home runs.
5th in batting average, 6th in runs scored. 3rd now in home runs behind Arizona and Atlanta. Atlanta's a surprise team in that home run race. In that ballpark, it's not an easy ballpark to hit them.
How about the Diamondbacks now in a first-place tie after their win against the Giants in San Francisco last night? They beat Lincecum last night. Got a dead heat in the National League West. 2 balls and a strike on Betancourt. Back up the middle. Over is Terrio. And he makes a play for the out. Inning over, but Casey McGee having a big day already. 2 at-bats, 2 home runs. Both of them giving the Brewers the lead.
Game reset. It's been all about the long ball with 8 of the 9 runs scored coming from the home run. Corey Hart got things started off in the bottom of the first inning with a leadoff home run. Then Casey McGee with a 2-run shot to give the Crew a 3-1 lead. Top of the second, Rafael Furcal with a 3-run home run of his own. 4-3 at that point, but in the bottom of the third is Casey McGee with another 2-run home run to make it a 5-4 ball game, B.A.
All right, thanks, Telly. As Corey Patterson tries to bunt his way on. A pop-up to Fielder on the bunt attempt. 1 gone for Randy Wolf on the first pitch. Incidentally, for Casey McGee, as you take a look at this failed bunt attempt by Patterson, that's Casey's 2nd career multi-home run game. And it's his first rock since September of '09. So not something that McGee does very often. But it has come in big today. 2 2-run homers for McGee.
Yeah, sending the fastball to the opposite field and crushing a hanging slider way back and left. So Casey doing a good job covering the fastball and the slider so far today.
Edwin Jackson not afraid to take a rip. Jackson reached on a hit his last time up, a swinging bunt, and he legged it out for an infield hit. Yesterday, Jaime Garcia hit a 3-run home run off Markham, his first career homer. And when you start peeling away all that happened yesterday, that was a big blow in the game. You're talking about a pitcher who doesn't hit much. And he broke a 3-3 tie with a 3-run home run.
Yeah, right after a check swing base hit to drive in a run with 2 outs. Well, things going the Cardinals' way in last night's ball game.
I can't imagine that either manager slept real well last night, even though the Cardinals won and La Russa ended up in the winner's circle last night. He had his things to deal with as well, and still might. As Jackson, a little cue shot, that's going to fall a base hit. So the Cardinal pitchers coming up with hits in this series, and now Jackson is 2 for 2. Our Carsuit.com email the booth question: are the Cardinals the Brewers' biggest rival? Chris wants to know. What do you think, Brock?
I guess right now they are. I mean, I don't think there's ever really been a lot of love lost between the Cardinals and the Brewers. Of course, a lot of teams can say that with respect to St. Louis. They have rivalries all over baseball, do the Cardinals. That's what happens when you're good. I mean, the Cardinals are good just about every year. Very rarely are they out of the race early. It's lonely at the top, isn't it?
I love Lance Berkman's line last night. They asked him about the Cardinals Brewers. He goes, yeah, Cardinals Brewers, Cardinals Cubs, Cardinals Pirates, Cardinals Reds. He goes, yeah, there's a common theme in there.
Yeah. Well, the Cardinals can get under your skin, and that's one of the things that they try to do. They try to make you think of everything other than trying to beat them on the field, right?
I spoke to Ryan Ludwig this offseason, the former Cardinal. At the time, he was a member of the Padres, and he had an interesting thought. He said, I didn't realize how hated the Cardinals were until I left the Cardinals, because, and he gave a lot of credit to La Russa. He keeps the clubhouse in such a bubble there.
Right.
And then he went to San Diego and he realized there is no love lost for the St. Louis Cardinals around the league.
And regardless of what you think about Tony La Russa, he will take the heat on just about every issue and keep it away from the players. And you have to admire that, if nothing else.
2-2, and that one's driven to right. Hart is there, and Jackson will retreat. For Call's been a tough out. He lines out this time. And 2 men are out in the 4th inning.
Yeah, for instance, today you get to the ballpark, you know, everybody, the media, everybody talking about everything other than Yadier Molina and his issue with Rob Drake last night. You know, and Tony La Russa, I think by design, tried to deflect all of that and create a different issue, which he was able to do.
You just wonder how long it'll be before that ruling comes down from baseball. You figure there'll be an appeal. Jared Weaver with the Angels hit with a 6-game suspension. That wasn't an argument with an umpire. He threw at a player. So you wonder if Jason Mott will be disciplined.
Hey, you don't have to be thrown out of a ball game to be fined. The league office can look at, you know, that situation between Braun and Mott and say, yes, it was intentional. Did it twice.
McGee keeps it in front and no chance for an out.
What a big play that is. Now you have to deal with Albert Pujols. Wow. Two hopper, and you know, Casey tried to stay in front of it, but not able to handle the hop. And now you have to deal with Albert Pujols with a couple of men on.
Still no official ruling on the play yet. Terrio's safe at first. First and second with 2 gone. Pujols is 0 for 2 against Randy Wolf. Wolf struck him out in the 1st inning, got him to fly out to deep left center in the 2nd inning. There's a strike. It has been ruled an error on McGee. E5 on Terrio's ground ball. McGee's home run gave him the lead once again. As Pujols off the end of the bat, Braun will settle under it. And another good job against Albert Pujols for Randy Wolf. He's rendered him hitless this afternoon.
On the fourth inning, time to check in with the crew in the community. Earlier today, Ryan Braun, U.S. Cellular, and Brewers Community Foundation were pleased to welcome the Little Brewers Club. The Little Brewers is a statewide baseball league for children ages 6 through 9. The league has grown to involve 2,200 children. More than 24 boys and girls clubs throughout the state participate in the program. Good program for Ryan Braun and the Brewers Community Foundation to get involved in, BA.
Yeah, thanks, Telly. Good to see him out there. Braun's great with the kids. And good to have the Little Brewers Club here at the ballpark today. One of the many groups in attendance this afternoon, part of a sellout crowd. Brewers are going to post their 19th sellout of the season this afternoon. And one of the largest crowds of this homestand. Here we go to the bottom of the fourth. 5-4 Milwaukee. Brewers got 3 in the first, added 2 more in the third, and all of the runs coming on the home run ball. As Felipe Lopez rips one back up the middle, a base hit. Leadoff single for the Brewers second baseman.
And not about to let that first pitch fastball go by. Lopez got one that he liked and able to center on it up in the zone. That turned into a pretty good platoon if that's what it's going to turn out. You know, Jerry Hairston Jr. perhaps against left-handers. He started in last night's ball game, and Lopez against the right-handers.
Ron Renicky was joking with Ricky Weeks, saying it's going to take 3 players to replace you, Ricky.
Actually, Hairston was in a platoon. He might be in 2 platoons, actually, with Nigel Morgan in center field.
Can he be in 2 spots at one time?
I doubt it, but he'll try.
Hairston started in center field last night. He ended up at second base in the game. There's Jerry Hairston Jr.
Takes more than one man, as you mentioned, to replace Ricky, the Brewers' number 5 hitter, leadoff hitter, all-star. Tough man to lose, but the Brewers have been playing some pretty good baseball in his absence.
Well, it's been 7 days since Weeks was hurt, and Telly, I understand you have a little more on Ricky Weeks and his possible return.
Yeah, Ron Renicky mentioned today, before today's game, that he was very encouraged to see Ricky Weeks come and participate in the team photo yesterday and not only walk out to the field to take that picture without crutches, but he didn't even have a walking boot on, and he wasn't limping. And, you know, Renicky said that he wasn't sure when he will return, but he was very encouraged to see Ricky appears to be doing quite well as of now at this stage of that injury.
Yeah, they weren't sure he was going to be able to even put weight on that injured ankle at this point. They thought it might be a week to 10 days before he was able to even stand up, and the fact that he's walking, a very good sign. You know, he's in great care. Roger Kaplinger, highly respected athletic trainer, and the process that Roger goes through with the players to get him back on the field. The only thing about Weeks, he plays such a demanding position with the lateral movement at second base. He might take a little extra time coming back than, say, if he was an outfielder or maybe a first baseman.
Yeah, but knowing Ricky Weeks, I think he's going to be back sooner than most people think. It's not going to be the 2 to 3 weeks, I don't think, but I don't know of a player that has a higher tolerance for pain than Ricky Weeks.
It's true. I'll never forget Weeks taking a fastball in the jaw and didn't even go down. Not only did he stay in the game, he never went to a knee. Hit him flush in the face. I think the goal for the Brewers concerning Weeks, Rock, the minor league season wraps up in September, you know, beginning of September. So he basically has, we're talking about a month, so it's the race to try to get him maybe through this rehab and get him some at-bats in the minor leagues while they're still playing games.
Because once the minor league season's over, nowhere to send him.
Two and two to Kataris. Got Lopez over at first. Jackson taking a long time between pitches, and he strikes him out. So Jackson punches out Kataris for the second time. And one gone with Randy Wolf coming up. Well, it's been a week without Weeks. And he has had his fair share of injuries. That was the fastball I was talking about to the face.
Man, right in the jaw.
And he got right up and went straight to the bag, stayed in the game, shoot off the trainer. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's something else.
And this is from Wednesday, 1 week ago today. A double clutch by Castro, and Weeks safe on an infield hit. In that last stretch, he rolled his left ankle. And it looked like a break at that point when we saw it on the replay. And
that's nasty looking. It's tough to watch that.
A couple of ligaments damaged in that ankle for Weeks, but he's on the comeback trail. Randy Wolf up there to bunt, and he gets it down. Jackson will go to first. Sacrifice bunt for Randy Wolf. Lopez to second. And Corey Hart will have a chance to drive in a run with 2 away. Our AT&T trivia this afternoon: how many current Brewers have played for 8 different MLB teams? How many current Brewers have played for 8 different MLB teams? It's a lot of teams.
Yes, it is.
I think Felipe Lopez would be on that list. Have to think about some other ones. Not Corey Hart. He's been a Brewer from the get-go. Drafted and developed by the Milwaukee Brewers.
Council's been with a number of ball clubs, but is it 8? In Colorado, LA, Florida, Arizona, the Brewers. Who else?
Marlins, Rockies, I mean, came up with the Rockies.
Right.
Sure was he in the big leagues with the Rockies. We'll see if Hart can stay hot. Corey's on some kind of run. Talked about Corey in our open today, and Renicky putting a power threat at the top of the order. Hart not a prototypical leadoff hitter, but Renicky likes that power threat, and he delivered with some power in the first inning. His second leadoff home run in this homestand.
And Edwin Jackson, not a guy that gives up a lot of home runs. I mean, in 19 starts with the White Sox, he only allowed 8 homers and 3 today already. Usually able to keep the ball in the ballpark.
It's a good rally hat. Two balls and a strike. And Hart, a bouncer to third. This is Freese, and he'll go to first to retire the side. A scoreless inning for Edwin Jackson. We go to the 5th inning from Miller Park. 5-4 Milwaukee.
And today's Tavern of the Game winner is the Primetime Sports Bar and Eatery in Brown Deer. If the Tavern calls the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Big crowd this afternoon. Final game of the homestand, and the Brewers trying to win the series from the Cardinals. This is the rubber game of this 3-game set. Milwaukee picked up a 6-2 victory on Monday behind Zach Greinke. He beat Chris Carpenter. Cardinals won at 11 innings last night. Randy Wolf with a 5-4 lead as he starts the 5th inning. Back-to-back scoreless innings for Randy Wolf. Facing Matt Holliday to start it. And there's a fastball strike. Holliday, Friesen, Berkman 4, 5, and 6 in the St. Louis batting order. Two and two.
That's where you want to throw Matt Holliday, right there, up and in. Did a nice job getting ahead in the count on the fastball away, then tried to come in on him, and Holliday late.
Holliday has walked twice against Wolf. Ground ball to third. McGee, nice play. Finishes it off. Out number 1. Back to our AT&T trivia question. Looking for Brewers who have been around a little bit. Well-traveled Brewers. How many current Brewers have played for 8 different teams? Hawkins, Felipe Lopez, and Jerry Hairston Jr. There you go. Craig Counsell not on that list. That's a lot of clubs, huh?
Yeah.
8 different teams.
That doesn't happen in 2 or 3 years. You got to be around. You got to be good enough to stick around in the big leagues long enough, and somebody always wants you. I'm surprised that Troy Hawkins has been with that many clubs. I don't remember him being with that many. Houston, Minnesota, the Cubs, Brewers.
Came up with the Twins, Colorado. Matter of fact, Hawkins and Holliday were teammates with the Rockies. That was the year Holliday won the batting title. Hawkins pitched for the Yankees, the Giants.
Did not remember those teams.
I don't remember him as a Yankee at all, but he made 33 appearances with the Yankees back in 08. You remember Hawkins as an Oriole?
No. That's what I'm saying. I remember the teams that I ripped off. I mean, but other than that, I mean, that's the teams the Brewers play, though.
Yeah, he was in Baltimore in 06. So when LaTroy Hawkins is in a meeting as Freese with a bouncer out to Betancourt, out number 2. And you get at a meeting and they say, hey, anybody know anything about this guy? Pretty good chance Hawkins has played with him.
I need a scouting report on Wade Boggs. I've got it.
Those do come in handy these days.
Cal Ripken. Hats off to him. They've been around a long time. Great careers for all 3 of them.
Hawkins, 38 years of age in his 17th season. Lance Berkman, longtime Astro, face of the franchise in Houston, has now bounced around at the end of his career a little bit. To the Yankees last year, the Cardinals this season. He's on a 1-year deal with St. Louis. He'll be a free agent at season's end. One and 2 on Berkman. 2-2 the count. Got to be tough for Astros fans to see some of their star players, guys like Oswald and Berkman, Hunter Pence, all with contenders, all for different teams.
Yeah, been a tough couple of years for the Astros fans down there. Just about every one of their marquee players gone, trying to reload that farm system.
Little pop up. Fielder's going to give it a look. Might have a chance. Up against the railing. Fielder makes the catch. Worked around a fan to make that play. Nicely done, Prince Fielder. For the final out of the 5th inning, and Randy Wolf, his best inning of the day. Well, we've seen some offense, and Rock, how about the defense? And a good thing that our friend in the Paul Molitor t-shirt has very bad hands.
Yep, right through the hands, and Prince Fielder were able to concentrate well enough to be able to grab it.
Just as a general rule, in your own ballpark, if it's your team, try to steer clear.
It's hard to do that, though.
It's a ball in the air. I realize that.
I mean, it's in the stands pretty much. I mean, you don't want to ever reach onto the field and try to get it. But, I mean, if you're a fan, that's your instinct to grab it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You're not looking at Prince coming over there.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't have a glove. It went right through his hands, right into Fielder's glove. And Randy Wolf retires Lance Berkman. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for Randy Wolf. Yeah, there's no ill will.
I'd have done the same thing.
No, you wouldn't have. You would have been hiding under the seat, just like you do up here.
That's right. What I know is how much that baseball hurts when you try and catch it barehanded. I'm smart enough to know that. And I will never risk a beer for a baseball.
See his buddy to the left, he never moved.
Right.
He just sat there. Well planted. Well, Randy Wolf needed that inning for sure. A quick inning and a 3-up, 3-down frame. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Morgan. Morgan, Braun, and Fielder coming up here in the bottom of the 5th. And there is a base hit. Nyjer Morgan with another one. A hit machine, Nyjer Morgan. His second hit of the ball game. Now 2 for 3. A reminder, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. So Morgan twice has led off an inning with a base hit, and he is aboard for Ryan Braun. Braun doubled and scored in the first. All of the Brewers' runs have come on home runs. Hart with a solo shot. Casey McGee has 2 2-run homers. For the Cardinals, Rafael Furcal hit a 3-run home run in the second. David Freese an RBI single. That was back in the first. So it was off to a wild start with 9 runs being scored through the first 3 innings. And here we sit in the bottom of the 5th. Jackson in his second start as a Cardinal. He was 7-7 as a member of the White Sox this year, an ERA slightly under 4. See the Cardinals still going through the multiple signs, even with nobody at second base. Which has been a story in this series. St. Louis started that on Monday when it was speculated that the Brewers were stealing signs somehow. Not the kind of stealing signs with a base runner, but outside the perimeter.
Them have never been associated on a team or in an organization that ever did that. I mean, with electronic aid to steal signs, I've never seen that.
Now the Cardinals taking no chances. They go through multiple signs, even with nobody at second base. And Braun, a cut and a miss slider from Jackson.
And just the idea of having Molina throwing down a series of signs for Jackson, that's something out of the ordinary that they have to concentrate on, and that takes away from perhaps what they should be focusing in on. Making pitches, you're trying to read the signs, figure out what's going on.
Leadoff runner aboard, Morgan. Pujols is having a tough time with the bright sunshine opposite Edwin Jackson, right in his line of sight. Sun shining down on the fans down the third baseline. That's what Pujols is looking at. You could see how baseball could get lost in that mix. And it's not like Jackson lobs it over to first base.
Right.
They all bullets over there.
All these guys just rear back and let it fly. And Albert's been two-handed every one of them. Let's see if Nigel Morgan's going to be running on this pitch. Jackson's been relatively slow to home plate.
Morgan has 6 stolen bases.
And Molina's throw-up percentage this year, not what it has been throughout his career. It's not as good. Could have something to do with his pitchers.
Crowd getting into it. Full count to Braun. There goes Morgan. Braun breaks his bat. That is going to fall. A base hit. Morgan on his way to third. A shattered bat for Ryan Braun. And it works as a perfect hit and run. First and third. Nobody out.
And had Niger not been running, that would have been an easy out for Ryan Theriot. He would have been standing right there for it. But because he was covering the bag, falls into right field.
Now Jackson in trouble here. Runners at the corners with Fielder coming up.
Jackson eats up Brawny, but because Theriot had to cover the bag at second, nobody there to catch the pop-up. And Niger able to get to third base.
Brewers lead by a run. Casey McGee's 2-run homer in the third inning gave him the lead once again. Now Fielder is up. Morgan with speed at third. Braun with speed at first. Fielder singled off Jackson his last time up. And that one is sliced foul out of play. Brent's hoping to add to the lead. And a soft liner for an out in the first inning, and then he whistled one past Jackson in the third. Big bouncing ball. Morgan coming to the plate. He will score the out at first, but Fielder drives in a run. And the Brewers put another one on the board. It is now 6-4 Milwaukee as Prince drives in number 79 of the season.
And not the hardest hit RBI for Prince Fielder, but he got the job done. Back-to-back singles, first and third, a little bouncer in front of home plate. Jackson able to handle it himself, but the Brewers get a 2-run lead.
So Jackson has given up 6 runs now on 10 Milwaukee hits. Now here comes McGee, who has homered twice against Jackson. Just his second career multi-home run game. Had one in 2009. Ryan Braun at second, 1 away. Rock, let's take a look at the 2 home runs by McGee. We overlapped him. And you see where the pitch ended.
Yeah, the slider right here. That's the one he pulled into the seats and left. Fastball was outer half. He drove to the opposite field and hit it over the right field fence.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's cool. We should do that more often.
Kind of reminds you of your post-game vision.
It kind of reminds me of my my playing days. It seemed like there was 2 baseballs coming at me at the same time.
Hit the one in the middle. But it's a very good look at, you know, the result of 2 different pitches, both on the inner half, but McGee driving to the opposite field, the first one.
You see the release points very similar, 2 different pitches, 2 different locations, but pretty much the same swing for Casey. It's just when he started his swing, that's what was different. I mean, that's a perfect example of a guy taking the same swing. It just, when he started his swing, that's the only change in what he did based on the location.
And McGee, a little flare to right. Berkman will make the catch. He's playing deep. Tagging is Braun. He'll go to third. So 2 men are out. Braun ends up at third base. And here comes Betancourt. 6-4 Milwaukee. Edwin Jackson's pitch count is only at 77 right now. You think about the 2 home runs that McGee has hit. They both came with 2 outs in an inning. So his pitch count in pretty decent shape, considering he's given up 6 runs and 10 hits.
And the fact that he hasn't walked anybody, that's going to help the pitch count quite a bit. Throwing strikes. Only 28 of his 78 pitches have been for balls. It's not bad for a guy that at times has had a tough time with his control.
Jackson was terrific in his first start as a Cardinal. Picked up a win. That came against the Cubs. Went 7 innings, gave up just 1 run against Chicago last Friday. He still has one of the most unusual no-hitters. He threw a no-hitter on the 25th of June last season as a member of the Diamondbacks. Only the second no-hitter thrown by a Diamondbacks pitcher, Jackson and Randy Johnson. But Rocky threw 149 pitches in that no-hitter against Tampa Bay, one of his former clubs.
That's a lot. But how are you going to take him out, right?
One of 5 no-hitters during the regular season last year. 6 total if you count Holiday's postseason no-hitter. That gets away from Molina. Here comes Braun. He'll score. Yadier Molina. As sure-handed as it gets. lets one get away, and the Brewers steal one. 7-4 Crew.
Now you're more likely to win the lottery than to see that ever. With Yadier Molina behind home plate, just boxes one. Like Halley's Comet, right off the thumb. About one every 7 years you're going to see Molina do that. And was not crossed up. Had he been crossed up, he might have had a discussion with Jackson out there. I just lost sight of it.
Yeah, good base running by Braun. Sometimes that's a tough read for a runner at third when the ball goes to the right. You're not sure how far it is away from the plate, but the Brewers get one. 7-4 Milwaukee. Betancourt out to for call. Smooth as always. Makes a play for the out. Inning over, but the Brewers get two. 7-4 as we go to the sixth inning. We go to the top of the sixth inning. And a reminder to click on the Fan Zone tab on the FoxSportsWisconsin.com homepage. You can win prizes in the new Fox Sports Wisconsin Fan Zone, from team merchandise, game tickets, unique fan experiences, tech toys, and more. And if you're not a member, join right now. Fast and free, and it's all at the Fan Zone tab, FoxSportsWisconsin.com. Sellout crowd today on a Wednesday afternoon at Miller Park. 7-4 Brewers. Randy Wolf has settled down 3 scoreless innings after giving up 4 runs in the first 2 innings. Yadier Molina leads off. Rock, were you surprised Molina was in the starting lineup today after that hot 11-inning ball game last night?
Not at all. I mean, he plays just about every day. He's the backup catcher for the Cardinals doesn't get a whole lot of playing time. I mean, he's a normal day game after a night game guy. John Alucro is the same thing, except for when Randy Wolf is on the mound. And Tony La Russa wants to use him while he can. No telling when he's going to have to serve that suspension.
Yeah, he's going to be getting some time off. Going to get a timeout. Commissioner Seelig timeout. I mean, just think about the pass ball. That rarely happens. I mean, Molina's as good as it gets defensively. Just thinking about his at-bat in the second inning. Cardinals played a Sunday night game against the Cubs. Arrived in Milwaukee late Sunday night, early Sunday morning. And then a long game yesterday. Quick turnaround for the day game today. Molina gets sawed off. Lopez on the run. Can't get it. Just out of his reach. And that'll be a base hit for Yadier Molina. Now a 12-game hitting streak.
I would imagine just about every one of his base hits have come to the right side of the of the diamond. He loves to go to the opposite field. Look at that pitch down. It was a ball down around the shoe tops and just out of the reach of Felipe Lopez. He made a good effort. Came up empty. The Cardinals have had their leadoff hitter on in every inning but the second.
Yeah, and the second inning was their most productive inning. They scored 3 runs on a 3-run homer by Furcal in the second. So here is Patterson now, batting 8th in the Cardinal lineup. A lot of baseball going on this afternoon in the big leagues. Giants and the Diamondbacks underway now. Jason Marquis making his Arizona debut. D-backs acquired Marquis from the Nationals. He pitches against San Francisco today. Phillies have been all over the Rockies. Won the first 2 games of that set. Phillies have a 5-3 lead in Denver, 3rd inning. Speaking of runs scoring.
Yeah, Brewers are going to have to deal with the Phillies right at the end of the season in September, about middle of September. A 4-gamer here at Miller Park.
Phillies look like a runaway train in the National League right now. They have an 8-game lead over the Braves, and the Phillies, the first team in the big leagues to 70 wins.
Yeah, the Braves have lost 3 in a row.
Meanwhile, the Phillies have won 5 straight. Philadelphia at 70-39. Braves are looking at that wild card race. They still lead in the wild card race, but their lead is down to a game and a half in the wild card. Diamondbacks are there. The Giants, Cardinals 4.5 back in the wild card race to start play today. Patterson, center field. Niger Morgan on the run. That ball is over his head. And it bounces out of here. And that's going to be a break for Milwaukee. Would have been a triple and an RBI most likely. Instead, it's a ground rule double. And it's 2nd and 3rd.
Well, Randy Wolf having a tough time at the bottom of this Cardinals order today. 5 base hits, 7 through 9, including the pitcher with 2 base hits. And Corey Patterson, lefty versus lefty. He's got a couple of doubles, one to right, now one to center. He's always had pretty good pop in that bat. Making contact has been his problem.
Well, Edwin Jackson will be allowed to hit. Maybe this is where the bullpen usage last night affects La Russa's decision. Cardinals with 2 on in scoring position. Jackson allowed to hit for himself. And Wolf falling behind him 2-0.
And Randy trying to bust him inside with fastballs after Jackson's been able to get base hits on pitches away. That 2 for 2 might have something to do with why he's up there right now.
Jackson's first hit was a swinging bunt. It was an infield hit. His base hit in the 4th, a little cue shot, a flare that fell into center.
That's a mighty hack right there.
Another good cut. Jackson, of course, has not hit much. His tours in the National League with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. He logged some at-bats, but has just 12 career hits over 9 seasons. Two. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And now Wolf in a position to have to throw a strike against Jackson. Jaime Garcia's 3-run homer yesterday for the Cardinals came on a 3-2 pitch. In the air, shallow right. Molina will not tag, and this will be out number 1 for Randy Wolf. Retires Edwin Jackson, still 2nd and 3rd, and back to the top of the order.
Stayed hard on Jackson that time. Didn't allow him to get the bat head out and jammed him. Got the pop up. And he tried to trick him his first couple of times up, and the Cardinal pitcher able to get a couple of hits.
I suppose La Russa counting on the top of his batting order to deliver these runs. Sticking with Jackson with runners at second and third. Furcall's been red hot. He singled in the first. He hit a 3-run home run in the second. And he lined out in the fourth. He hit a rocket right at Corey Hart in the fourth inning.
And not going to take much to score Corey Patterson. He has good speed.
Furcal suffered a thumb injury earlier this year for the Dodgers on the 12th of April. He was sliding into third base. So a lot of hand injuries with these Cardinal hitters. Pujols, Furcal, David Freese.
And sometimes the toughest to come back from.
And you don't even bother looking at Furcal's season numbers. Hitting just .205 this year. That one's lifted in the air. Ryan Braun, Nyjer Morgan. Braun's going to make the call, the catch. Molina's going to tag. And the throw is up the line, snapped to second. They've got a runner in a rundown. And McGee will slap the tag on him. St. Louis scores the run, but the Brewers get out of the inning. 7-5, Milwaukee. Lottery reminding you to please play responsibly. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness.
Hey, follow the Brewers with the MLB.com at-bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at-bat to 31826. Or visit Brewers.com.
Day baseball in Milwaukee, a Wednesday matinee on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Great to have you with us today. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Telly Hughes. Our game is being produced today by Chris Withers, directed by Michael Odino. Edwin Jackson still out there. He has given up 7 runs today. All 7 are earned on 10 hits. I beg your pardon, 6 of the 7 are earned on 10 hits for Jackson. La Russa allows him to hit with runners at second and third and nobody out. Cardinals do get a run, but the Brewers get Patterson to end the inning. Felipe Lopez leads off.
Yep, no errors on the board. The pass ball that scored a run is the only unearned run.
Lopez singled off Jackson his last time up. And now he slaps out into the opposite field, a base hit. Felipe Lopez with 2 hits today. And again, the Brewers put a leadoff man aboard.
I think I mentioned last inning that the Cardinals have put their leadoff hitter in every inning, but the second, that was actually the Brewers. The Brewers are retired 3 up, 3 down in the second. Other than that, they've been able to get base hits to lead off an inning in every other frame. They're doing a good job getting things going.
Well, in decision time here, Mark Kotsay has already grabbed a bat. He's in the on-deck circle, as opposed to the pitcher Randy Wolf. That might affect what Kotaras does with a leadoff runner aboard. Kotaras has had a tough day against Jackson. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And they pitch out, nothing on.
If nothing else, I think George is going to go up there to bunt. If he's going to do anything like that, I doubt you're going to see a straight steal.
Randy Wolf looks like he'll be lifted for a pinch hitter. 6 innings today, and he'll leave with the lead. Six innings, 5 earned runs. Only one other time in the last 14 starts for Wolf has he given up more than 4 runs. That was a 7-run game on the 5th of July against Arizona.
Well, just to let you know how good that rotation is going. Markham didn't have his best stuff. He left with the lead yesterday, and so does Randy, who really wasn't on the top of his game. You have to give credit to the Cardinals, though. I mean, they're a pretty good hitting club.
And give credit to the Brewers offense for picking up their starting pitching, which has carried this club through this good stretch. George has some power. A couple of home runs this year in the major leagues. Kotaras had 4 home runs down in AAA in 29 games before his call up. Lopez takes off. Hit and run is on, and a foul back. I got a piece of Molina's chest protector, it looked like.
And knocked off the shoulder pad right there. It's attached with the Velcro. The baseball knocked it right off. Molina didn't even know it. I don't need that. There it goes.
It's like skeet shooting.
Pull.
Got him. Is that a birdie rock? Is that what they call that?
Clay pigeon? I never heard of a birdie. A lot of bogeys, though.
A lot of bogeys. No wonder you're so good at that.
Yeah. And I'm happy with it. 1 over is good.
Long look by Jackson. Kotaras pulls one. Base hit. Down the line. Lopez on his way to third. And he'll be held there. That's a double for George Kotaras. Pujols holding on Lopez. That opened up some space, and George just squeezed one in for a double.
Nothing like it. You know, your backup catcher, you play once a week, you chime in with a base hit. Brewers have a chance to put some separation between them and the Cardinals. And bottom of the order getting on base. There's George able to get the bat head out on a breaking ball and sneaks it right by Pujols down the line and right. Good start to the 6th.
2 on, nobody out. Jackson has given up 12 hits, and now Mark Kotsay will come in to pinch hit for Randy Wolf.
And still nobody getting loose in that bullpen. The pitch count for Jackson only 88.
Kotsay and Jackson teammates last year with Chicago after Jackson was traded to the White Sox from the Diamondbacks. So certainly Kotsay has seen a lot of this pitcher, even though he has not faced him all that often. Kotsay is 2 for 8 lifetime against Jackson has a couple of hits with 3 walks. As a pinch hitter, Katse hitting .280.
Cardinals with their infield in, figuring they don't want to get too much further behind with the way the back end of the Brewers bullpen has been. About halfway up the middle, in on the corners.
Seven to 5 Milwaukee. Katse hoping to add to it. Big spot in the ball game. Second and third, nobody out. And here comes a 1-1. Katse back to the mound. Easy play for Jackson. Out number 1. Well, Brewers have not been able to execute with a runner at third. Less than 2 outs in this series.
Jackson doing a good job pulling the string on Katse. Got him out in front of a breaking ball. Almost threw it away at first base.
Well, Fox Sports Wisconsin Outdoors showcases the ultimate in outdoor programming. Every Saturday and Sunday morning, experience everything from the pursuit of fish and game to exploring the best weekend destinations. Fox Sports Wisconsin Outdoors, presented by Menards. Saturdays 6 a.m., Sundays 8 a.m. only on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Here is Corey Hart with runners at second and third, 1 away. Lopez started the inning with a single. Kataris doubles. And now Hart with a chance to drive in some runs. Top of the order once again. 4th time through against Edwin Jackson. And Hart into shallow right. Bergman coming fast. That is going to fall. Here comes Lopez to score. It is 8-5 as Corey Hart gets a flare to fall. An RBI single. He has 2 ribbies today.
Everything he touches ends up being a base hit. 2 for 4 again today. A couple of ribbies. Jackson ate him up inside. Corey strong enough to muscle it out into short right. There's a big run right there. 3-run lead now for Milwaukee. Inside out stroke. That ball looked like a backup slider. The Corey able to muscle it out into right field to score the run.
And remember how deep the Cardinal outfielders play. Hart able to dump that one into right field. Now 38 runs batted in for Hart. First and third, 1 out. Nyjer Morgan coming up. And here comes Tony La Russa to make the change. Actually, just glancing down at the Cardinal bullpen, I don't see anybody out.
Well, there hasn't been anybody getting loose. Unless they're somebody's warming up in the tunnel underneath the stadium. I don't see him having an option to go to another pitcher.
So no change coming here. La Russa just wants a chat with his infielders.
Edwin Jackson, the newcomer, the sacrificial lamb today because of a worn out bullpen. 8 runs, 13 hits, and still nobody getting loose in the bullpen.
92 pitches. Still just 1 out in this 6th inning. So La Russa has had his say. And we'll see what the Cardinals have in mind here. Freese in on the grass. Morgan fouls it away. Now, certainly La Russa and the Cardinals have done their homework on Ron Renicky. This is one of his favorite plays in this situation. The safety squeeze. He's also implemented some suicide squeeze bunts. Morgan swinging away on the first pitch.
Yeah, you can understand maybe if there was a lefty out there, but I don't see it happen with the right-hander. Morgan's been swinging the bat well today. Go for the huge inning. You got Braun and Fielder coming up. And that's the amazing thing about Renicky, though. You never know. You never know what to expect.
And it's quickly 0-2 on Nyjer Morgan. Two on Morgan. Nyjer is trying to at least get one to the outfield, deep enough to score Kataris. Got Braun coming up next. Morgan's a tough guy to double up. He runs well. He's able to lay off. Jackson taking a chance with a high fastball to see if he'd chase. 1-2. Morgan has 2 hits against Edwin Jackson today. He's 2 for 3. Currently hitting .330. Morgan is just outside the number of plate appearances to register among the batting average leaders, but he's close, and if he stays healthy, he'll eventually be in that group. With a .330 batting average right now, he would be second in the league in hitting, behind Jose Reyes, who's hitting .339.
Reyes has been dropping off a bit. Of course, you wouldn't expect him to hit .360 all year.
Eight to 5, the Brewers lead it. Hart driving in a run in this 6th inning. Back to a 3-run lead, and Nyjer Morgan trying to add to it. The 1-2 had a good cut. Count stays at 1-2.
And one of Jackson's best fastballs right there, 95 miles an hour. Still has something left in the tank. A valiant effort by Edwin Jackson. He certainly hasn't had his good stuff, but because the bullpen is worn out down there for the Cardinals, he's been asked to eat up innings. He's probably told, you're getting 6 today, young man, whether you like it or not. And he's trying his best.
We'll do it again. Another 1-2 pitch. 1st and 3rd. And Jackson taking a look at Hart. Brewers with 13 hits today. 3 of them coming in this 6th inning. There goes Hart, and Nyjer strikes out. Hart is in there. The ball into center field. Another run will score. On a throwing error by Molina. He's let 2 in today.
And not having the best defensive day. You're not used to seeing mistakes by Molina like this. They were throwing through the whole time. Corey Hart had a great jump. I'm not sure if Molina, even with a good throw, is going to be able to get him. Really a changeup right there, slider, and that ball, you know, spikes in front of Terrio, and I don't even think a perfect throw is going to get Corey. He had a great jump. And Fakal not able to keep it in the infield. And George able to walk to home plate.
So Molina with a pass ball today, and now a throwing error. And the Brewers squeeze another run out of it. 9-5 Milwaukee. Stolen base for Hart. And here comes Braun with 2 away. You wonder what had to go through the mind of Ron Renicky. Morgan, not a guy that strikes out very often. And that could have turned into a strike him out, throw him out double play inning over.
That's about as good a jump as you're going to get. I mean, Corey Hart had a great jump, decent lead, and as we mentioned, Jackson slow to home plate.
Morgan strikeout, the second out for Jackson. Has 5 strikeouts today. Hart over third with 2 away. Braun in the air, left center. Patterson lays out and makes the catch for the out. Side retired, but the Brewers tack 2 more on. 9-5 Milwaukee. We go to the 7th. Complete here at Miller Park. 9-5. The Brewers have the lead over the St. Louis Cardinals. Casey McGee, the big story today offensively, 2 two-run home runs, and both of them gave the Brewers the lead. Brewers have had the lead since the 3rd inning, and they've been able to add some runs. Randy Wolf is in line for the win. Went 6 innings, 5 earned runs. Now Cameron Lowe, first out of the bullpen as we go to the 7th.
Yeah, Cameron's been throwing the baseball pretty well. His last few times out have been very good. Tossed a perfect 9th inning on Monday to beat the Cardinals. Has made 4 straight scoreless appearances. And 55 appearances out of the bullpen, up amongst league leaders.
Well, a sellout crowd today of 41,906, and the Brewers go over the 2 million marker. The 19th sellout of the season. Great credit to Brewers fans in this market, packing this ballpark. A lot of fun here. Getting a lot of text messages, phone calls, emails from colleagues around baseball. They watch these games and they always remark about the atmosphere, the energy in this ballpark, the excitement. Great testament to Brewers fans all over.
Yep, and those fans that come here each and every night have a lot to do with the Brewers' home record. As good as it's been, the support helps.
Brewers with a chance to go to 41-15 with a win today at home. 41-15. Terrio, Pujols, and Holiday. And a key inning for Lowe, sitting on a 4-run lead. Cardinals are headed to Miami after today's game. They start a 4-game series tomorrow with the Marlins. Brewers have a day off tomorrow. And then they start a series with Houston on Friday in Houston. One hop to Lopez. Low throw. Terrio beats it out. Infield hit.
A lot of base hits to lead off innings in this game. The Brewers have done it in every inning but one, and the Cardinals have done a pretty good job as well. The 2nd, 4th, and 5th, the only innings that the Cardinals have not got their leadoff hitter aboard. And Terrio just able to beat it at first base.
And Lopez couldn't get much on that throw. St. Louis has had their leadoff hitter aboard in 5 of the first 7 innings today. 4 hits and a walk. So here is Pujols, 0 for 3 today. all against Randy Wolf. And a strike. Four-run leads can go quickly with these two clubs involved, the way they swing the bats. Lowe will have to go right through the heart of this order. LaTroy Hawkins beginning to get loose in case Lowe runs into trouble in the 7th. A shot, backhanded, Betancourt to second for one, and a double play. What a play by Yuniesky Betancourt. Starts a 6-4-3 double play on Pujols.
Pujols hit that one right on the button. Can't hit it any harder than that. That's why he leads the league in double plays. Now 24 of them, and most of them probably just like that. Good backhand pickup by Betancourt and an easy double play. Gets down as low as he can to get the eyes at a good level to see that baseball and able to turn it.
Well, Betancourt has taken his game to a new level in just the nick of time for the Brewers. He had a rough first half. He's made some plays on this homestand. Now 2 gone. They put the shift on for Matt Holliday. Brewers one of the few teams that will do this. They'll put 3 infielders on the left side. Takes a second baseman who has a decent arm to do this. Lopez certainly does.
Yeah, throw they're not used to making that long. Of course, Lopez can play short for you.
Two gone for Holliday. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Holliday. And that one's in there. 1-2 the count. Talk about Betancourt's glove at the plate. His first 52 games, hitting just .220, 3 homers. His last 51, he is up near 300. 5 home runs, 25 driven in. He hit a big 3-run homer yesterday. Gave the Brewers the lead. As Lowe strikes out Matt Holliday. After an infield hit, Cameron Lowe gets Pujols on a double play and strikes out Matt Holliday to end the inning.
For Brewers Live postgame, and Davey, the Brewers have answered back against the Cardinals here today, trying to take this series. And what have you been most impressed with what you've seen?
Well, the fact that the Brewers have answered every chance they had when the Cardinals have scored, but the tenacity that's there. And it's so much more today than it was yesterday, and they're playing with a lot more intensity.
You see a lot of contending going on between these two clubs right now, and of course we'll have it covered in Brewers Live postgame coming up after the ball game. Going to get inside both clubhouses. This one's certainly not over, as we know, but the Brewers enjoying the 4-run cushion right now, Brian.
All right, Craig Davey, thank you, and we look forward to Brewers Live following the game. Edwin Jackson still on the mound despite 9 runs and 13 hits. Fielder on the first pitch. Terrio takes care of him for out number 1. Saying something there. He is out there for the long haul despite giving up all those runs. Casey McGee has been a big part of it today at the plate, presented by Wendy's. McGee, a 2-run home run in the first inning, broke a 1-1 tie, gave the Brewers a 3-1 lead. His 2-run homer in the third inning gave the Brewers a 5-4 lead. Casey now with 6 and 7 home runs, his 6th and his 7th home run, I should say. 47 runs batted in. Ron Renicky took a shot. He put McGee back in the 5-hole yesterday, and he has responded. McGee with 5 hits in the last 2 games.
Yeah, it's been a team effort today. I mean, 9 runs for the Brewers and 1 RBI between Ryan and Prince. And Prince had his RBI on an infield out. Guys around the dynamic duo getting it done today, up and down that batting order.
And McGee rips one center field. That's way back. That's got a chance. And it is up and out of here. Casey McGee with a 3-homer game. He's gone to right, left, and now center field. Have a day, Casey.
Come on, Casey, you can smile, buddy. What a day. You don't see that very often. There it is, middle in, and Casey McGee able to get inside of it and drive it into center field. Good for him. He's needed it.
And a curtain call for Casey McGee. They asked him to come out. 10-5. McGee with 3 home runs today.
And still nobody getting loose in the bullpen for the Cardinals. My goodness.
It is amazing that Jackson just wearing it today.
Hanging him out to dry today.
Now, Corey Hart had a 3-homer game on the 23rd of May for the Brewers this year. Drove in 7 runs.
Sometimes you have to sacrifice one game, one of your starting pitchers for the benefit of the long term for your ball club. And Dave Duncan, Tony La Russa feeling as though his bullpen's been overworked. They need the time off, and it's going to be Edwin Jackson, and that's it. He doesn't have any choice. And he keeps battling out there, though.
Casey's best day as a Brewer this year, and he has been waiting a long time, and it shows you how strong he is, homering to every part of the ballpark. His first one was to right center. He pulled one in the 3rd inning, a no doubter, and then this last one goes to straightaway center as Betancourt strikes out.
Good balance and a good follow through. Watch the way he's just quiet at the top until that bat is on its way to the baseball and way back into center field off of the batter's eye. 4 home runs today for the Brewers, all against the starting pitcher.
Well, McGee becomes the 11th player in franchise history to hit 3 home runs in a game. No Brewer has ever hit 4 in the franchise. The 16th occasion that it has happened in the history of the franchise. So McGee adds his name to the list.
Happened twice in one game in Arizona for the Brewers. Richie Sexson, Jeremy Burnett, both with 3 home run games.
Five runs batted in for McGee. Two and 0 to Felipe Lopez with 2 away. Well, McGee comes into this game with 5 home runs. He's hit 3 today. So 8 home runs now for Casey. 48 runs batted in. And you can bet the Brewers are saying to McGee, just stay hot. Do what he did all of last year. He is a run producing machine. At least he was when he got a chance to finally play in 09 and then all of last season.
You see Corey Hart and Casey McGee heat up right at the right time. Betancourt swinging the bat. Certainly take the pressure off of Ryan and Prince. They've been shouldering the load most of the year.
It's got to be a great feeling. You walk through that dugout and you've got all these stars, these great home run hitters, and all they want to talk about is your home runs as Lopez draws the walk. Well, we have seen a 3-homer game this year. Corey Hart did it back on May 23rd. Hart was just getting back in the lineup. That was against the Washington Nationals. Hart with 3 home runs and 7 runs batted in. And like McGee, using every part of the ballpark to do it.
And when they get hot, they can really get on a roll. And hopefully that's the beginning of good things for Casey McGee.
Ten to 5 Brewers. Dave Duncan a trip to the mound to talk to Jackson.
And finally activity in that bullpen. Looks like the lefty's up, Zipsinski. Dave Duncan going out there just saying, hey, hate to do it to you, but we have no choice. We don't have much out in that bullpen today.
It's got to be tough to sit there and watch Edwin Jackson give up 10 runs on 14 hits. Big day offensively for the Brewers. George Kotaras doubled and scored his last time up. Of the 10 runs against Jackson, 7 are earned. His first outing with the Cardinals, he went 7 innings, just 1 run. That was against the Cubs last Friday. Well, Randy Wolf got his run support today. He has been the one pitcher that the Brewers have not been able to score consistently for this season.
And most of the double-digit run production this year has gone to Yovani Gallardo. He had 4 of them. Brewers scored 10 or more.
That's right. Gallardo will be up on Friday against the Astros. Native Texan going home to face Houston. Gallardo against Jay Happ Friday. Well, Jackson's ERA might be suffering, but you have to think he is scoring major points with his new club. The fact that he is still out there trying to get through 7 innings on a day when he's given up 14 hits.
In a normal day, you would have thought that he might have been done after a 2-run fifth that he allowed, but because of the bullpen situation, sucking one up for the team today.
Now remember, Jackson was allowed to hit in the 6th inning. Brewers had a 3-run lead. Jackson was allowed to hit with runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. It's normally a spot where you see a pinch hitter. Cardinals managed only 1 in that inning. Kotaras into right center. Lance Bergman on the run. That's got a chance as Corey Patterson comes out of nowhere. Makes a great catch. Boy, did he cover some ground. Wow. Patterson. Terrific play in center to end the inning. But the Brewers playing long ball today. Corey Hart with 1, Casey McGee with 3. Did it in the first, pulled one into left in the third, and an exclamation point in the 7th. 10-5 Milwaukee. He has 3 home runs. He has driven in 5 and a 10-5 Milwaukee lead. So we'll try it again now. Don't get all messed up at home. We're superimposing all 3 of the home runs, pitch locations, and where the bat is. And he's used all parts of the ballpark.
That's the way the monitor looks for me when I don't have my glasses on.
So, you know what was interesting there? The swing looked the same as you pointed out last time.
That's the key. When you're going good and you're seeing the baseball, you've got good mechanics. Everything's the same. It's just when you start the bat.
That was a terrific stat there on Casey McGee. 355 plate appearances. He had 3 home runs. Today, 3 home runs in 4 plate appearances. Gives you an idea of where he has been and hopefully where he is going. Brewers make a couple of changes. LaTroy Hawkins is on to pitch. Not sure if it's a double switch or not. Hawkins is in with Craig Counsell at second base.
Yeah, Hawks in the number 9 spot.
And Freese into right. Corey Hart right there.
Yeah, LaTroy pitched a couple of innings, a 2-inning stint for Hawkins. First game of the series. That was on Monday. Did not allow a run, only 1 base hit. Be nice to be able to get through this game without having to use K-Rod or Axford.
Hey, you made a good point the other day about saving those bullets as best you can as we get into the grind of the season. Axford and Francisco Rodriguez have been used a great deal, and obviously they're pitching in stressful innings as well. So any day you can get through it without using them, that's a bonus.
It will only make them stronger in September. A day off today. Make it a little easy on them in September.
Gary Darling with a chat with Tony La Russa. Not sure what this is all about. La Russa is not happy.
Is that quick pitch by LaTroy Hawkins?
Possibly.
Hawk will do that once in a while. He won't come fully set, Well, you could do whatever you want. As long as the hitter is ready, you could do whatever you want as far as your delivery if there's nobody on base.
Berkman bouncing ball to short. Betancourt gobbles it up and makes the play.
Well, Tony's got to make at least one appearance out on the field, doesn't he?
Well, let's just take you back 2 pitches. See what La Russa spotted. Hawkins against Berkman. This is the first pitch, and yep, that's it.
Yeah, he wasn't ready. I mean, I guess that's why he was out there. You can see Hawkins setting a little bit longer. Berkman was just starting to get in his setup when Hawkins made his delivery to home plate, but he's in the box. I mean, by the rules, I mean, Hawkins is allowed to throw as long as he's in the box.
He does the same thing here. John Jay takes a ball. Another one. Hawkins has a little salt in him as well. He's not afraid to spice it up a little bit. And if he thinks La Russa's upset about a quick pitch, he may give him 4 or 5 in a row.
Interesting that he breaks it up for the first time in a long time today, maybe just to get under Tony's skin.
Now he's just done it 3 consecutive pitches.
Well, it's going to be a fun finish to this season, is it not?
He does it again, the 4th consecutive pitch with the quick pitch. It's not a quick pitch. That's illegal. It's what are we calling that, Rock?
I don't know.
Needs a name.
I think you're going to come up with something.
Will he do it 5 in a row? Nope. He'll come to a set. Got him. Hawkins strikes out John Jay, the pinch hitter. Well, Troy Hawkins with his own version of the La Russa needle. And our Miller Lite What's on Tap. The Brewers will enjoy an off day tomorrow. They also have an off day Monday. 3 games across the weekend in Houston at Minute Maid Park. 6:30 is airtime on Friday night. Saturday 5:30 we're on the air. Then a day game Sunday. And that is our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Our Ho-Chunk text question today. Matt wants to know, Rock, what does the K in K-Rod mean?
Strikeout. Strikeout Rod.
Yeah, there's no K in his name. He's Francisco Rodriguez. And of course it comes off the A-Rod nickname, Alex Rodriguez. So they started calling Frankie Rodriguez K-Rod because of how many strikeouts he rang up. That's how you indicate a strikeout on the scorebook, by the way.
You could have answered that.
Yeah, but I like when you answer it. You're the former player.
Okay.
Gerald Laird is in to catch. Mark Zepchinski is on to pitch. So the Cardinals stick Edwin Jackson out there for 7 innings. He gives up 10 runs and 14 hits today.
Well, he's able to stay out there because his pitch count was in relatively good shape. Only walked 1. That was his next to last batter in his 7th, Lopez.
Jerry Hairston Jr. getting an at bat today. Hairston started yesterday, played center field, ended up at second base. Had a double yesterday. So Hawkins is out after 1 inning. And there's the answer why no double switch. Renicky using Hawkins for just the 1 frame. Casey McGee, hopefully you'll hear from him today if the Brewers wrap this one up. 3 home runs, 5 runs batted in.
Might have a Tim Dillard sighting in the 9th.
He could use the work.
Yeah, he maybe not.
Maybe Axford needs to work. Yeah, surprised to see Axford throwing, but
yeah,
that'll have to be asked afterwards. Axford looks like he's just
day off tomorrow. I mean, you know, Axford hasn't been used a whole lot lately. Remember, he and Rodriguez had back-to-back days off in that Houston series.
final line, by the way, on Edwin Jackson: 7 innings, 14 hits, 10 runs, 8 earned runs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. And if there was the epitome of taking one for the team, it was Jackson today.
Yeah.
Hairston with a base hit. So the pinch hitter Jerry Hairston delivers with a single. And that is hit number 15 for Milwaukee. They are 2 hits shy of their season high this year.
That's a good at bat for Hairston. You see where that pitch was away. He might have been off the plate, and he's able to just go right with it in the right field. This kind of hitter Hairston is. Good contact hitter. Left-hander trying to, cut one off the outside corner, and Hairston able to reach out and bang it into right.
Well, the Brewers had a 17-hit game against the Astros in April. Most runs they have scored in a game, 14. That was in the same game on the 22nd of April. They scored 14 runs on 17 hits against the Astros. 10 runs on 15 hits today as Tim Dillard springs into action.
Tim Dillard hasn't pitched since the 18th of July in Arizona.
For call, will scoop it up out to Terrio, and a double play. 6-4-3 double play. And 2 outs in the inning for Niger Morgan. Now the Brewers have scored in every inning but the 2nd and the 4th today. And that has been the big story in this game, the fact that they've been able to tack on runs even when the Cardinals scored in the 6th inning. The Brewers came right back, scored 2 in the bottom of the 6th. Morgan in the air, shallow right. Berkman coming in, and he's got it for the out. Inning over. Last call for the Cardinals. We head to the 9th inning. 10-5 Crew. A 3-home run game for Casey McGee. The Brewers have hit 4 today and a 10-5 lead. And if there was any doubt that the Brewers want to chase the Cardinals out of town with a 5-run lead, John Axford, the Brewer closer, is on to try to finish it out.
Yeah, worked in yesterday's ball game, pitched a scoreless 9th, had used 17 pitches to get through the 9th. 17 or 18, something like that. But before last night, John Axford had 3 of the last 4 days off. 18 pitches. You can see why Axford's in there, to say nothing that John Rennie doesn't want to take any chances.
So Corey Patterson will lead off. Axford pours one in for a strike. Chopper, fielder. Axford covers, makes a play at first. Prince, a wayward throw, but Axford plenty of reach to pull that one back for out number 1.
Yeah, nice long wingspan for John Axford, able to get there. Got there in plenty of time. Yeah, off day tomorrow for Milwaukee. You get a win here today. Axford gets tomorrow off, and you never know when you're going to need your closer, so get him some work. Prince leading him just a little bit too much, but Axe able to make the play.
Well, the Brewers did sign Randy Flores today to a minor league contract. Left-handed pitcher. Descalso pinch hitting, lines one out to Ryan Braun. 2 outs in the inning, and 1 out from a series win against the Cardinals and an 8-1 homestand. A sellout crowd on their feet at Miller Park. What a homestand it has been, and if the Brewers do go on to win a division or make it to the postseason, this will be the stretch you'll look at. This 20-game stretch after the All-Star break. Milwaukee started this homestand a half game behind the Cardinals and the Pirates. Well, they've got a chance to end it with a 3.5 game lead. Two on for call. 6 pitches for Axford, 6 strikes. Randy Wolf in line for the win. He would go to 8-8. In 6 innings today. 1-2. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 home runs from Casey McGee. Corey Hart had a homer. Brewers scored 10 runs on 15 hits. Cardinals down to their last strike. 2-2. Count remains at 2-2. For call, certainly going to make an impact with the Cardinals. He's already shown it, not just with his glove, but with his bat. Saved the game yesterday for St. Louis. Otherwise, you might be looking at a clean sweep of a homestand. Three balls, 2 strikes. Pitching matchups for the Astros series: Gallardo against Happ on Friday, Narveson and Brett Myers Saturday, Zach Greinke, Bud Norris Sunday. 3 in Houston, 3 in St. Louis next week. 3-2 pitch for call down the left field line. Braun will give it a look, and it will slice foul. Casey McGee, our Menards player of the game, tied a franchise record with 3 home runs. 1 to right, 1 to left, 1 to center. In the 2nd inning, his home run that no doubter to left field gave the Brewers the lead. Matter of fact, his first 2 homers gave him the lead, and then McGee in the 7th inning, straightaway center field off the batter's eye, a 3 home run game.
He was sleep good tonight. Be a nice off day for Casey.
Axford walks for call. Cardinals still alive here in the 9th.
Toughest out in the series for the Brewers. For call.
And for call drove in 4 today. So a 2-out walk, and it's Ryan Theriot. Brewers trying to improve to 41-15 on the home schedule. And now Kataris out to have a word with Axford.
And John pouring in strikes. First 2 hitters in this inning. Able to get him easily, then now having a tough time commanding the fastball.
Games to watch later tonight: the Cubs and the Pirates. Matt Garza against Charlie Morton. That's a 6 o'clock start in the Central Time Zone. The Reds are at Houston tonight. 2-0 to Theriot. Theriot, the last hope for the Cardinals. 2 gone, 9th inning. And there's a strike. Brewers swept the Cardinals here at Miller Park earlier this year, back in June. St. Louis won 2 out of 3 in St. Louis at Busch in May. Three and 1. Cardinals will have Kyle Loesch tomorrow against Anibal Sanchez. St. Louis with Loesch, Westbrook, Carpenter, and Garcia in that 4-game series in Miami. Full count. And again, the Cardinals down to their last strike. Base hit. Call was on the move with the pitch. He'll end up at third base. And here comes Pujols. This one not over yet.
Why not? Make it interesting, right? Nobody said it was ever going to be easy. First 2 outs with no problems, and all of a sudden John having a tough time locating. And now he's got to deal with Pujols and Holiday. You hope it doesn't get past Pujols.
If you're the Cardinals, you're trying to get David Freese to the plate. Still 3 batters away. 10-5 Milwaukee. Axford will face Pujols with 2 on. Axford with a scoreless inning yesterday. Went through Pujols, Holiday, Berkman, and Schumacher. Batter reached on an error. Axford was sharp in the 9th inning yesterday. There's a good breaking ball in there for a strike.
Yep, they would have dropped the curveball in on him. The equalizer, a lot of times that'll get that release point and that delivery back to where it should be.
Well, the Brewers pitching staff has kept Pujols down. He is 1 for 13 in this series. 1-2 the count. So again, the Cardinals down to their last strike. Axford trying to send everybody home happy. One and two. Here it comes. Pujols lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 27th out. It's the toughest to get. Two balls, 2 strikes on Pujols. Runners at the corners. And down he goes. An exclamation point to this series. Axford strikes out Pujols. And the Brewers win it 10-5. Randy Wolf, the winner. He beats Edwin Jackson. And the Brewers take 2 out of 3 from the St. Louis Cardinals. Back to 3.5 games up in the National League Central. And Craig Cashon, the Brewers, with a very impressive homestand. They won 8 out of 9. Much more still to come. What do you have coming up, Craig, on Brewers Live?
Well, certainly, Brian, we are going to address those subjects with the team, break down some numbers, and the Brewers on a roll as they hit the road. A big answer, though, to the Cardinals and what happened in yesterday's loss. Got to be a big plus. We'll find out more next.